Welcome to Caching Waves. This is your Elliott Wave update for EGLD. It's been a while since I've done an update on this, and the pattern is still very difficult, but I'm more going to use this as like a educational video, kind of a thought experiment, and where you can still get into a trade assuming a few different things, even without the count being super confident on. So first of all, from the low, we had a diagonal hit all standard extension targets, and as you can see, the most importantly, after we broke trend here in the contracting diagonal, we dropped very fast, so it is likely a diagonal. And if you remember before, the big issue we had was counting this area. I was looking for another wave to the downside here to come close to the 1-to-1, didn't get that. I have recounted this. Originally we had our A here, B, C, which didn't reach the minimum requirement of the 618. So if a low is in, this has to be our A wave or W wave. Either this is all the X wave we got, and we got an A, B, C here, or this is our B wave, and we got 5 waves to complete in a diagonal. You can see both counts pretty much work. Both hit the 618 extension, which is the minimum requirement. But when we're unsure, we just have to make sure they both fit. You can see we just ticked the 618 retracement extension, sorry. So from the move from the high to the low, we ticked through the 382 retracement, and that's between the 50 and the 618 on linear scale. Now I'm bringing this one to attention because we are consolidating sideways at a pretty significant area. So we have to consider the fact that this is potentially bullish. Now I can count 5 waves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The symmetry is a little off. The third is not the shortest, but it's not the longest. It's more of a equal legs between the third and the fifth, as you can see. But it does count as 5 waves, and we did get a nice clean ABC 3-wave correction here. Now the area that's difficult is up here. So I counted this, and it does fit as a running flat, which is a bullish correction. So we potentially have a 1, 2, 3 working on our 4th, 5th, as you can see. So if we get that one more move to the upside, and we could even double topped, looking for a correction here at the previous 4th to really take off. But as you can see, it's very difficult count, because I also consider the fact that perhaps this is a diagonal, but the shape of it is off. So it's more of a thought experiment, but if this is our 1, 2, and we get a 1, 2 with a flat, 3, 4, 5, and we come back and we continue to grind sideways or just take off from here, it's potentially quite bullish. So I was looking back and saying, okay, how are we potentially bearish? Well, to be bearish, our A wave would be here. We'd be in the middle of a super long B wave as a W, a 3, 3, 3, and then we collapse to the downside, right? And our correction gets bigger, which is possible. But where we'd see that likely is below the 618 retracement of this current move to the upside whenever it ends. On the other side of 618, probabilities just shift. That's all, because obviously if we get a 5th wave up, we would want to consolidate within the previous 4th and above these previous areas of resistance. So just something I'm considering, and it's nice because it's just, you know, one quick trade, and if it loses, no big deal. We know where it's going. We'd pull our fibs from the A to the B and look for the 1-to-1 lower. So I'm probably going to take this trade myself, but I would be counting it again as a 1, 2, 1, 2. And I'd look for this to launch. We're right between the 618 and the 1-to-1 extension of this wave. So we're either going to reject hard for that C wave to the downside, or the correction is complete and we're ready to go. Areas to keep in mind. If we do take off here, our third wave should come probably past the 1.618, but right now that's at $76. And our fifth wave up around 91.78, which would look like this. Potentially a little higher because we passed the 618 extension. And that would be our second 1-2. This would be a 1-2, 1-2. But yeah, absolute area of invalidation is right here at this wave 2 low, but I wouldn't give it much past the 618. Another option is if this is something complex, this could also be an ABC as a running flat, but even still we'd expect to protect that low and perhaps just make a 1-to-1 extension of this move as more of an ABC, and then we come down. So it's very important to watch shapes and where the consolidation is happening and focusing on the fibs rather than, you know, getting obsessed whatever this tiny little count is here. As long as the rules are in line, that's what I pay attention to most, and it's helped me quite a lot just paying attention to shapes more than anything. All right, guys, so that one looks pretty good. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this. Our 618, where we could get our one more wave to the upside and then consolidate. It's right there at 63.89. That's the 618 of this move here. So I'm expecting a little reaction there. But it looks like we should get at least that one last move to the upside. If this is a 1-2, 1-2, it would more look like this. 1, 2. We get our third, working on our fourth, and get our last fifth wave up, come back to consolidate. That's where I'm looking for my entry. But yeah, potentially pretty bullish, as you can see. We're consolidating nicely, and if you're more of a pattern trader, check this out. We have a head and shoulders. I don't really use these patterns, but I do pay attention to them when there's a potentially bullish count, because there are people that are trading this. This just adds to the probabilities that someone else sees this, right? And standard targeting for that is the top of the neckline to the bottom, and you put that up like that, which would be, again, at our 1.618. But neat when that stuff lines up, but as you can see, it is there. Just waiting for that little breakout. All right, guys, that's it for EGLD. I hope you found this helpful when you're not really leaned into account what to look for, just to get an idea of the trend so you don't miss it. But the absolute invalidation is that wave 2, just to be safe. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.